'cause you can, you won't, and you don't stop. Or when you can, you won't, and you don't stop.
This brief video, what I want to do is go through the feedback that we received last semester so that you can get an idea about how I've thought about that and any changes, which I don't think we made a lot, but I'll explain why not as I go through the feedback from students. So what you can see here is the feedback that I get, and that includes, for instance, these open-ended questions, which are what aspects are done well and what aspects could be done better. And I really look at those. In particular, I look at what could be done better. But let's have a look. So each line or row that we can see here is a different student's feedback. So let's see what we found. Vodcasts and perusal, the different kind of approach we use in the unit, very helpful. Very well structured, nothing. Okay, so no real feedback on how to improve. The second one, the way of teaching with the lectures already recorded, checklist, thought starters, problem sets really helped me. Okay, great. Not sure I can make anything better. Okay. Pre-tutorial activities, great. Loved the YouTube uploads, the short split of information. Perusal is done well. Tutorials were fun. So looks like they look all of most of the materials here. Ensuring online tutorials are uploaded on time is important. There were times when I missed tutorials. Yeah, okay. So there's two things with this. One is there often is a system constraint on uploading tutorials. I have to wait for the system to allow me. In fact, the tutorials are uploaded automatically. So in actual fact, I just genuinely can't make the tutorial upload any quicker. In that sense, it's a system controlled issue, unfortunately. There was a thing with YouTube videos. I was making them last semester. And I know that I got them ready the day or two before we would have the class, etc. That was a little bit tardy. But the way I make them is so that we can use them again so that we overcome that problem. So hopefully you can access all of the YouTube videos in time this time. So that's a bit of a change that we've had. Okay, let's move on to this student. Thoroughly enjoyed how engaging. Thank you very much. Possibly just breaking some things down quickly just before applying them in a writing sense because it's hard to follow when there's a simple misunderstanding at the beginning. I think I understand what this student is saying, but there's kind of 2 points here. One is it's expected that all students will have been through the material before you turn up to the tutorials. That's how we structure it, and we need to do that for a number of reasons. A, you learn better, but B, to make things interactive, right? I can't make it interactive if I have to go through things. So that's why we have the videos and why we have perusal so that you can go through things. I do often try to give a mini summary. This person maybe wanted a little bit more, but it's a little bit difficult without taking away from the interactivity. So I'm not sure there's a lot that I could do there. I think what you can do as a student is to prepare, go through things, and also come ready with questions. I'm very happy to take questions at the beginning if you don't really understand something. Okay. What's this next one? Every topic thoroughly explained, allowed for potential questions to be answered before they were even asked. Great. I preferred the online lectures over the vodcast. The online lectures felt far more engaging. I actually think this student, I've got to guess because we didn't have really online lectures, that I'm going to have to guess that what they were talking about was actually the tutorials. And yeah, they will be more engaging because they're meant to be interactive, whereas the vodcasts are meant to deliver material, right? That's their aim. So it's hard to make them as engaging as interaction activities. And at some point, you do have to transmit information. So I'm not sure there's a lot I can actually do about that. Maybe you could just read the lectures, not have to watch the vodcasts if you don't want to read the material in perusal, etc. Would be a solution if they're very boring. But I'll have a think about if I can make the vodcasts any more engaging. But again, it's a one-way transmission of information. So it's a little bit difficult. Maybe put some questions you could do on the YouTube. I'll have to think about that one. All aspects done well, like the YouTube videos, tutorials are engaging and the content is clear. See, I look at this, and this is another thing that I have to take into consideration, is as you go through, you can see that a lot of people like the YouTube videos as they are. So when I just get one comment, I have to balance that about a number of people saying that they like the YouTube videos. Okay. It would have been great to have the YouTube videos a bit earlier. Yep, hands up, I'll admit to that, particularly for some of them. But now they should be up earlier for this semester. So hopefully we've overcome that problem. YouTube vodcast is pretty helpful. Quickly rewatch things, etc. So they like the YouTubes. Not much they can think of in terms of improvement. Teaching's good. Videos are helpful. Better than a long lecture. So they like the videos. Maybe 2 practice exams would be good. Of course, it's a personal view. Yeah, I like to just have the one practice exam so that it focuses you more on the kind of questions. I start to limit myself the more practice exams on what I can actually ask. So I think we'll keep it at one practice exam. I understand why you might like to, but there's a couple of reasons for keeping it one. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I will do a second practice exam, but it's not high on my priority list, and there's a couple of reasons why I might not put 2 practice exams up. Tutorials were very helpful, as well as actually great. My tutorial was late at night after an early start, so it was difficult to focus. Yeah, that's timetabling. Unfortunately, I don't have any control over timetabling, but feel free to take that up with admin, with central admin. You could write to the DVC Teaching and Learning, or maybe the Vice Chancellor. They're the people who can control that system. Okay, the content was clear and concise. Very great. The structure of the graded assessment was confusing at times. They had to be unaware of quizzes and readings being due. See, I find that one a little bit hard to reconcile because we actually have all of those dates in multiple places. We do it at the beginning of the course. We have a PowerPoint with all the dates in it and explaining it. I have a little video explaining it all. I have videos explaining every assessment piece. On the starting page, the dates are there. On the assessment pages, the dates are there. So I'm not sure where else I could put the dates. I'm not sure there's a lot I can do about that. I think that means maybe we should go through the material that's already there. Okay, lots of care was taken to understand where students are struggling. Yeah, I do try and do that. Thank you. The problem sets and thought starters are a great idea. The platform for the readings was a bit of a perusal. Didn't work for some people. Didn't work for some people. I had 1 or 2 people not understanding that there are different groups. So I'll accept that and I'll try and go through that this semester to make it clear to people. But I think a lot of people like the perusal system. If I look at the comments, there were quite a few comments that people enjoyed the perusal system. Maybe this person didn't. So, okay, I get that. How many case study for students to go easy to understand? So they liked it, nothing to improve. The way they liked the videos, the YouTube videos, nothing to improve. They liked perusal, the system, the recorded videos, the tutorials. That's how we structured things, the assignments, nothing to improve. The vodcasts were inconvenient. Some modules were far too heavy for a 2-hour lecture, 2-hour tutorial. Yeah, we do focus in on the most important things, but there are accreditation requirements about a lot of what we've got to go through. So to some degree, the content that we have is what we have. And I understand that at times there's a fair bit of it. But hopefully we focus you in. So there shouldn't be too many surprises in terms of what is critical in the assessment. Recorded tutorials helped a lot. That's great. Nothing to improve. Very thorough information. Nothing to improve. I think the second assignment is just great. That's the portfolio. I mean, the interaction with other students, which is on the perusal system, material, environment, discussion on it, great. I think every week we have one course that would be better for me instead of taking 4 courses material in just 1 week. Okay, so I think what this student is saying is I do have 4 live lectures for 1 hour, but those lectures aren't really about lecturing. They're about telling you what we're going to do so that we touch base around the material. So I could maybe think about that, but there's not a lot of feedback that that's not working. So I'll think about that one. Perusal on the slides were absolute class, so they love the perusal system. not too much to change. Weekly videos and tutorials are engaging, quizzes and readings. The readings are really helpful, keep me accountable, so they like perusal, nothing to change. I really enjoy only having one lecture a month and just the voice. So I liked only having the one lecture. With the vodcasts and readings, very helpful. Okay. It would be useful to still be able to see the questions for the quizzes and see the answers. Yeah, because it's assessment, I can't do that. However, I will debrief you. If you come and see me, I'm very happy to go through it with you. So there is a way around that. Hopefully I make that clear. I'll try and make it a little bit clearer this time around. Vodcasts were a great resource. Perusal was a great system. The lectures could have provided some more value. They didn't really add much to the vodcasts and tutorials. Yeah, I can kind of understand that statement, and to some degree, I agree with it, right? Because the purpose of those lectures is to outline what we're doing, answer any questions, and just take an hour once a month to make sure everyone's on the same page. So to some degree, I understand why they may not have added a lot of value if you're going through everything else. But some students don't, and they need that backup. So it's a redundancy issue. Examples and questions given in the tute help me understand. Some of the concepts of knowledge are too difficult to understand despite the help of cases. Like to some degree, you've got to come to us, and we're more than happy to look at that. Hopefully, we'll try as much as possible to help you through things. But there's not a lot of feedback that everything's too difficult. So I just say sometimes we struggle. We've got to make sure that we follow up on that as students. Nothing. Topics and materials are effective. 4 weekly lectures made it difficult to continue being engaged for the tutorials. Well, I'm not sure where that's coming from, because to some degree there was the weekly vodcast. Maybe the student didn't understand the structure about how things fit together. But again, we've got a vodcast on that, and we go through that, and I go through that at these lectures. So I'm not too sure how else to communicate that. And it is pretty much a one-off comment, so difficult to incorporate a change. Okay, almost done. What do we got? The tutorials and lectures were helpful. The lectures were far more engaging than the vodcasts. I prefer a lecture every week or every 2 weeks instead of every 4. Okay, so I can get that. We all want, well, a lot of people want a lot more contact. One of the decisions that I made in designing this unit was to give us 2 hours in tutorials, right? So, and I think they mean that by the lectures, right? So by having 2-hour live tutorials, normally tutorials are 1 hour, right? We have double the time in doing that, which meant I could use pre-recorded vodcasts to balance that out. So I couldn't really add in a lecture every week without more resourcing from the uni being approved. I'm happy to do that if they'll approve it, but I think, again, that's a question for the DVC Teaching and Learning and the Vice Chancellor. So I'd be happy to do that, but the way it is, I try and get that hour, like, right, of the lecture more interactive, and therefore have the delivery through a vodcast, which a lot of people find convenient. Okay. What was done well? The recordings of the vodcast, nothing to improve. It was great, nothing to improve. Tutorials and lectures were fun and engaging, straight to the point, great, no improvement. Resources were very useful, enough resources to provide full understanding, nothing to improve. Engagement was good, nothing was good. Contents are fun and interesting, nothing to improve. Vodcasts and perusal are effective, beautiful, nothing to improve, nothing. Okay, so as you can see, like, that's all of the feedback that I have. If I were to summarize it from my perspective, I think people on the whole overwhelmingly enjoy the structure that we've got. They'd like the recordings to be up as early as possible, and I totally understand that, and hopefully we've addressed that as much as we can. If live recordings of tutorials and lectures come up late or there's a problem, that really is a kind of systems issue that I've little control over, unfortunately. And I think staying on top of things and understanding how the subject works is a core element. But again, I've got a lot of material on that, so I don't know how to improve that. But I'm always willing to listen. And if you have any changes that you'd like to see in the subject, let me know and I'll do my best to incorporate them. But that's the feedback based upon what students said last semester.